Dun, dun, dun.
Starting live.
I saw a little something changed, I think.
We're
Oh,
live. We did
we
it.
are live. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
We did it better this
We
time.
did do it better this time.
All right. So we have Friday faves.
Friday faves. That's true. That's true.
So who's going first? You or me?
I think you should go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my Friday fave, since you don't want to hear about just my work this week, um, my
I
husband
didn't
and
ever
I.
said that, by the way. I never said I didn't want to hear about your work. If your work
Well,
was your favorite thing today, your favorite, then you should do that.
well, my favorite thing about work this week is that everyone did great and everyone was safe and everyone did awesome. So that's always a good thing. I always enjoy having safe, great anesthesia for my patients. So, but on
Boring anesthesia. Save boring anesthesia.
well, I wouldn't say boring. There's always something kind of keeps you on your toes. There's always an occasional this or that. Um, but this week with my husband, I'm watching a lot of Shark Week. I don't know when the real episodes came out because they always get saved and we play them later. So don't ask me which episodes or anything. But it made me reminisce about one of our favorite moments, which was back in 2017. My husband and I went down to Port Lincoln, which is southern Australia, and so we were on a boat for 3 days, 2 nights, and we ended up getting in a cage. About 4 people can get in the cage. So the cage with great white sharks. So at first, I was not intending on getting in the cage. This was like a lifelong dream of my husband. And I was like, I'll just be on the top and watch from the top. I'm not going in the cage. And then once I was there and like in the heat of the moment, I'm like, okay, can you go and head charge me for getting in the cage? Because I want to go ahead and experience this. So we get in the cage, and the most amazing aspect to the whole thing was my husband had a GoPro on his chest, which has a wide angle that it's taking. I'm taking some shots, random stuff, and I was looking in one direction. Of course, usually all four are looking in different directions most of the time. And I see suddenly a great white shark just literally bolt straight vertical and impacted the chum that they throw out on the water. And within a second, he's just gone. So by the time I hit my husband on the shoulder, he turns around and there's like no evidence. He's thinking, what the heck am I trying to point at? And I kept telling him to go up. We need to get out there. I want to see if we got it on camera, because it was the most amazing, attack that I've ever seen in person or anytime really. And so we
Out of all
found
your great white experiences,
this one of the the only great white experience that was an amazing capture there. But we captured it on camera. So if you go over to my Challenge Doctor YouTube, so I have a YouTube page that's my personal page outside of the Change Physician, which we're streaming directly out of right now on our Facebook. But if you go to YouTube for the Challenge Doctor, there is an adventure playlist that I've been starting, and there's a minute trailer where you can go and see this capturing of multiple things, including playing around with not the dolphins, but actually there were dolphins outside the boat too as we're traveling, and then we were snorkeling with seals. Just amazing. It's a Rodney Fox expedition. They have like really good record of doing a lot of great stuff out there.
Not chumming their passengers.
No.
Using their passengers as chum is not something in their itinerary.
No, they have a lot of experience. In fact, Shark Week, you'll notice that there's Rodney Fox labels on some of the people that are out there helping them with Shark Week. But anyway, if you go there, there's a 1-minute trailer, and it captures that real quick snapshot of that vertical approach from the great white. But I also have another long version at the 10-minute and 40-second mark. You can see the same thing happen amongst the various other fish that are roaming around. So that's my Friday fave, because it is a just a great reminiscing of an amazing experience that's really once in a lifetime. So there you go.
That was triggered by Shark Week.
It was triggered by Shark Week, yes.
Yeah,
But it
more
brought
than
back
one
a lot of
person's
memories.
favorite thing. No, that's great. What's the purpose of memories? We want to have some sort of triggering event. If we didn't get to reminisce and re-experience those memories, there would be no reason to have them. So
And especially during a pandemic when you feel like you can't go do that right now.
feel like you can't. Well, you probably shouldn't, you know.
No, you
But
shouldn't. But it is kind of nice to relive those moments and looking back at pictures and videos. And so that's
well,
been my
and
Friday
I might
tradition.
feel my heart doing this thing because I guess I'm a child of the Jaws era, right? And that was probably the first movie. Whoever I forgot the guy who wrote Jaws, but he's like totally regretted ever writing that book because he's like it vilified the sharks and they kill them
Yes.
all and all this stuff.
They're important for our ecosystem.
They are important, but man, that movie scared the living crap out of me. And I think so. My best friend growing up, Rob and I, we would do this thing called we play shark. You're making all these memories that happened to me, right? And
See, there you
we
go.
would get on a raft, and it could be a swimming pool, but we're like, oh, the water, and then we'd shake it, and you fall off, and because there's sharks in the water, and they're making
Right.
it,
You
and then
gotta
you
make believe.
totally freak yourself out, even if you were on a freshwater lake. Obviously, there's got to be sharks in there.
Now
And
the
then
bull shark can live in freshwater, not just saltwater. Did you know
well,
that?
aren't those in South America though? Or
No, well, no, there's some other places that they found. I could have sworn it's in the United States, but definitely think Australia. But they have the ability, they have this organ on the backside towards the tail where they can somehow salt regulate, where they can hold on to the salt and their kidneys can be more efficient, so they can actually be in fresh water. So you're not out of it. I mean, in fact, when the mothers see, this is Shark Week educating me. So the bull shark, I think it's a bull shark or tiger. No, I think it's bull shark. You can check it up or check on it. It's not the tiger shark. I'm pretty sure it's a bull shark. But when there are babies that are laid near the outlet where it meets the ocean, those little ones go upstream and then they can get through that water that's not very tall, and they stay there for a while for the safety. And I think a few years later, they end up going back out to sea. But they definitely can cause or wreak havoc on people that are in, fresh water, especially people that they have no idea that they're living amongst them. But anyway, sorry, I went on a tangent.
thank you for that nightmare. That was so pleasant.
You need to look up the bull shark. It's pretty
Yeah,
aggressive.
it's not like I wasn't terrified of sharks anyway, but
Yeah.
but now I got that.
But there's a lot more sharks out there that people have no idea they're right around them, and most of the time they're not going to eat you up or rip a leg or an arm off. They're just
well, I think this wasn't Shark Week because I don't watch Shark Week, but yeah, particularly the great whites, they used to think they were only in cold water, but then they started tagging them and they find them all over the place. And here's the weird thing about sharks. So when we moved from Ann Arbor after I finished fellowship, we went to San Diego to when I started my military commitment. I swear to God, the first year we were there, a guy got attacked by a great white. Swimming at La Jolla Shores or whatever. We moved to Corvallis, Oregon. First year we're here, there's a shark attack on the coast, like right over the mountain from us. It's
there's
like
more humans now.
No, they're because they want me, right? They're just they're wherever I'm gravitating. Those
like
sharks
Kevin
are coming.
Cuccaro. I'm gonna call you Kevin Cuccaro. I don't know why that just came up, but well, shark fin.
Bonk bonk.
Yeah, another corny joke. There you go for your Friday entertainment.
No,
keep my day job.
You keep your day job. That's a fight. No, you're well, maybe you don't get the puns, but yeah, okay, no. Maybe not the puns. So my Friday fave would be watermelon juice, and we had talked about this a little bit before.
Mm-hmm.
One of the joys of living in different areas is the fresh fruits, and so we have summer here. We get the fruit, and we have the watermelon coming in, and man, I love watermelon juice. It's like.
So how'd you make it, or did you buy it already pre-made?
No. You cut up your watermelon and you throw it in your home Vitamix, which here's some shocking information for the audience about Dr. Katie, folks. Now, everybody knows, you all watching this, or whoever may be watching this, if there's, or maybe just us, we all have Vitamixes, right? Because Vitamix is an important staple in your home life. It's a well-rounded kitchen, has many impacts, both personally and professionally, on your development as a human. Basically, if you're an adult, you have a Vitamix in your kitchen. And Dr. Katie has no Vitamix. So that was my shocking realization today when you said that. I was like, I cannot believe that.
Well, I feel like I already have like a blender and all these different things that can cut up things. But the funny thing is, I've been sitting there for 5 years and I've never used it. And
Exactly.
I
'Cause
just
it's
think,
not a
oh, it's just a
vitamin.
blender. I know it's pretty
It's not a
powerful and strong, but
and you say that because you don't have one. If you had a Vitamix, you wouldn't say this is just a blender. It's not just a blender. It's a Vitamix.
so you don't know till you experienced
You
it.
don't know how you experience. It's like medical school. You don't know what it's like until you actually experience the
So
Vitamix.
does it mush up all the seeds of the watermelon?
It just grinds. You can throw whatever you want. In fact, I think there's a YouTube station and someone just grinds crap up with a Vitamix. Like,
Hmm.
let's grind the cell phone, and they stick it
How
in the
long
Vitamix.
does it last? Like, do you have to replace the
Ever.
blades?
I think it has a 10-year warranty on the engine, but we've had ours for, see, my son's 17, and we bought it 2 months before he was born, I think, or maybe a year before he was born. So it's at least 17, 18 years old. Runs
How much did you pay for it?
a lot. I mean, they're not cheap. It was like $400 or something, but
Is
okay,
it? Wow.
$400, and we've had it for 17 years,
Wow.
and we use it. That's the other thing. So you have a blender you've never used that you've had for 5 years. It does nothing.
Okay, everyone, you're getting a cost analysis of a unused blender versus an expensive fancy blender.
And that's just the direct cost, right? The indirect experience of it is my Vitamix makes me happy. So how could you not be happy?
So I'm just not happy yet until I get a Vitamix.
You're not happy. You don't know what happiness is until you have a Vitamix. And a Vitamix with watermelons, because then you blend up your watermelons and then you make your watermelon juice, which is like the greatest thing in the world. And then if you want to make it like a an icy summer watermelon juice, you freeze your watermelon chunks and then stick it in the water with the fresh watermelon in your Vitamix, and then you have a watermelon Slurpee, which is awesome.
So are you saying that my little blender is like a lemon shark and your Vitamix is like a great white?
I'm saying your little blender isn't even in the shark category. It's like a minnow. Come on, if you're in the shark category at a minimum, you only do that with a Vitamix. There's no such thing. There's Vitamix, and then there's other things that kind of like stir food.
So you're saying it's a vital Vitamix, like it's got to be in my kitchen.
Got to be in your kitchen.
Okay, and you're not making any money off of you saying that?
Oh yeah, they totally pay me all the time. No. There are people that I think they do have like some sort of affiliate program. Maybe I need to join into that because they're very popular.
You're promoting it very strongly.
Hey, they're it's those things. It's Vitamix, awesome, and they're an awesome product, so they have raving fans. That's just the way it is.
Okay,
they've done well.
Maybe I'll just have to find out if there's a sale somewhere. If anyone's listening and knows where I can find a Vitamix for a good price, let me know. Costco. I know it's still worth the cost because you can have it for like 20 years, but
you can get them at Costco.
Well, there you go. I do have a membership there.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
What other Friday faves? Do you have anything else?
My Friday fave is that Saturday and Sunday are coming.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking forward to the weekend.
Oh.
Yeah. Basic stuff. Everyone's, TGIF.
If we were one of those really super technical podcasts, we would have the music and we'd have the guy in the background, because then he would play like the Loverboy song everybody's working for the weekend just for you. You can blare that in and add that to this little brief live show we got.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to figure out how to do that on a live stream. So that's to be determined for the future. But
we're lucky we can get the live stream working. So.
Well, go ahead. You gonna take us out?
No, I know you're trying to jump off because you're so embarrassed that you don't have a Vitamix, but I was gonna.
No, it's not why. I'm good. What else do you have to talk about?
I wanted to talk about our episodes this week.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, and I just wanted, there's little insights here. So one of the things about our Friday faves is we should talk about what are these things that we're seeing in the change physician interviews, which personally, and I'd like to hear your take on this, Dr. Katie, pretty much every single episode that we've done, there has been a key takeaway that is either unique and or it adds on to a theme that we're seeing when it comes to the change physician. So have you seen that, or have you experienced that yourself?
I think, and I have a feeling I might be stealing your thunder here, but awareness and perspective have been an overarching component that I think a lot of people have brought forth. And especially if you're a change physician, you have to have a moment of reflection and awareness to recreate your lens that you see the world through, and obviously creates a different perspective, and which can ultimately change your attitude, your beliefs, and your behaviors. How'd that capture it?
I think you did steal my thunder. I was going to bring that up too, because it's just absolutely shocking how often awareness comes up, right? Um, and it's interesting to me. We're both pain physicians, right? Not your typical ones. We actually talk about pain and do cool stuff with pain. But the awareness is so critical for pain, and yet awareness is really critical for life, because it's like it creates that space. It's so interesting to me. It's like everybody's talking about what to change for you. How did this? Well, I became more aware. It's like they'd be able to see where they can either make the active choices or decide not to, which is still a choice. And then to be able to kind of gain some perspective. And it's just interesting. The more aware you are, you may do the exact same thing, but how you feel or the experience of going through that process is dramatically different than when you are unaware. And that's just fun to see, from a pain perspective, and see it in the real life, because of course everybody knows that pain is life. And, it would make sense that would be reflected there.
Yeah. Well, life and pain are our teachers.
Yeah.
In essence.
Or life is pain, Highness.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the right.
Everybody say it again.
Life is pain, Highness.
I don't know what that's referencing.
Oh my gosh.
I know. See, we're on live, and you're just pulling out my weweaknesses.
I bet whoever is watching this video, if they see me say "life is pain," Highness, probably because someone could put it in the chat box.
Remember, I kind of lost my hobbies in doing like a lot of things during my 10 to 12 years.
This is so far before medical school. It's not even funny.
Well, just go ahead and lay it on me, because I'm like so lost.
Anybody who tells you differently is selling something. That's the Princess Bride.
Oh, see, it really wasn't my thing. So how am I supposed to know?
I am just getting more and more embarrassed. We have so much more education. Good thing we have so many more episodes to do.
Well, you should just kick me off the episode if I'm, I can't even bring it.
It's an education journey for all of us involved, and we'll pull in some good movie history.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that no one knows everything. So I'm just being that example for you.
Well, we probably should do an episode on classic 80 movies that every.
Oh God, no! I'd rather bring my husband on to talk about that.
Well, we'll have Corey on, because I think this is I'm like guiding my children through this. I'll even say you have to watch this movie just so that you can function in society, so that you'll know these references, you'll understand where these words and phrases come from. Because it's very embarrassing to me, particularly if they post a meme and then I'm like, well, do you know where that came from? And they're like,
yeah.
Oh, no, it's just funny. I'm like, no, there's a depth to this. Let me grab you and pull you in, and we will talk about this for a half hour.
Exactly.
But anyway.
Well, thanks for that, Kevin. My husband's going to love this.
Well, we will have to drag him on to a Friday Faves, I think.
Well, you got to close us out, and after all that.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. This is Dr. Kevin Cuccaro. I'm with my wonderful co-host, Dr. Melissa Cady, who obviously you can tell is very young in the ways of the world, where you're trying to educate her on this journey to create her changed path. But these are the Friday
changing.
The changing path, or at least get her more aware of the changing path.
I am.
But always fun. The episodes are awesome. If we would love you to go to thechangephysician.com if you're interested in joining the community. Check us out on YouTube. We are having our audio podcast launch in, I think, the first week of September, which will be exciting. We'll let you know about that. And until then, stay well.
Bye.